everybody, welcome to this week's Weekly Roundup. I have some important topics. We've had a lot going on at the city. I feel like I always say that, but every week just seems like it's more big things, good things and challenging things. But this one's really important. So this week we had a super close call. Thankfully, one of our drivers in our street and solid waste division was incredibly attentive, and we're so indebted to that person for making sure that we didn't have a bigger issue. But because of some items that were put into a garbage can, we had nearly a large fire. Thankfully, again, he saw that, or the driver saw that, but I wanted just to use this opportunity right at the beginning of the roundup to remind people to please not put any electronics in your garbage. I have admitted to my team over the course of this week, I didn't even necessarily realize the reasons for that up until I started working for the city in this last 10 years. So I think it's important for us to talk about it. Those electronics, when they get put into a garbage can, they get compressed. That compression kind of cracks open, if you will, the batteries and the electronics, and those can produce heat. And then obviously there's plenty of things for that heat to catch fire too. And then really quickly we have really large dangerous fires. So just a good public service announcement and reminder to please not put any electronics in your garbage can. If you're ever in question, just call us and let us help you out in determining where something should go. And just do, if you can, just help us out and share that message to anyone in your network of people. We have a mayor meetup next week, so I will be at the Senior Center on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Again, an opportunity just for people to ask questions. We've had a lot of good questions, a lot of good attendance at these events for a long time. So pencil this one in, 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Speaking of meetings next week, there's a lot of big things happening, as I said at the beginning, and a lot of them are happening at meetings next week. So we have a very full meeting agenda list for next week. So please watch for that post that we put out or go to the city website and check out the full meeting notice, because certainly I'll miss something here. But I do want to draw people's attention next week at council on November 7th at 7 p.m., virtual or in person. We will have our 2024 budget public hearing. You've heard me talk about the budget and how long we've been working on it. All the way back to like early summer, but now we're really in this last home stretch where we will have a public hearing, hear comments, have additional discussion around those comments and other topics at the full city council, and not just the finance committee level. So that'll happen. The budget public hearing is the 7th, and then the full passage of the budget is on the 21st. Also at our common council meeting next week, we will be, the chief of police will be giving a life-saving award to one of our officers, and that's not something that we get to do very often. So I think that's another great reason to attend. And then obviously another tremendous reason to join us is we'll also be recognizing Chief Kaminski on Tuesday at our city council meeting. Chief Kaminski is retiring after a very long and giving career to this community, and so we'll be recognizing him at our common council meeting at 7 p.m. But then we're also having an open house earlier in the day. So from 11 to 3 here at City Hall in the lower level will be an open house for anyone that would like to come and just wish Chief Kaminski well in this next part of his life. Because he's retiring, we also have the excitement of bringing in a new chief. So our currently Captain Brower has been selected by the Police and Fire Commission to be our new chief of police. So we will be doing a swearing in for him on November 17th at 11 a.m. and the public is more than welcome to join us for that swearing in. That will be on the second level of City Hall in the council chambers at 11 a.m. on the 17th. We did a lot this week with the fire department in particular, but also with the fire station. With the fire department, we finished up some of their union negotiations. And then for the fire station, we've been doing a lot with the budget for the new facility. So we have, over the course of time, you have space needs that produce square footage. That square footage is equated to a dollar value at that point in time. Now that we are at 60% design, we then take that design and our construction manager put that out to a variety of different subcontractors and kind of gauged potential pricing. We know that there's been quite a bit of inflation between when we did that original study, I think in 2021 perhaps, and now. And so we were expecting some necessary adjustments to what that budget amount will be. We received that number and then went through a long process, a couple hours long, of cutting things that really we need, but are things that we need less than needing the station, to be completely honest. So Things like cutting out a garage that was about $500,000. That would have allowed our command vehicles to be indoors versus out in the elements, and therefore a little bit quicker able to respond. So we do have an entire list of what they call value engineering that is in a finance packet from this week, so we can provide that information if you're interested, or you can check it out. But what will happen next is now that we're kind of in the home stretch of our budget process, we're going to be making a decision on what that final borrowing amount should be so that we can ensure that with all of the market conditions that we have the right amount of funding available to be able to build the station that we need to build. I heard our construction manager say that there has been a 45% increase in construction costs in this area, but in this time period that we're working with. And so thankfully, what they've come back to us with is not a full 45% increase in the total cost, but we are still in need of some small adjustments in that number. So more discussion on that will happen in this month at our budget meetings, both at the Common Council meeting on the 7th and the 21st. We also had long but really exciting meetings this week about a couple of different housing projects. I've talked to you about them here. I'm going to keep talking about them because these deals take time. By the end of this, we'll have talked about these deals for probably 2 or 3 years before a shovel's actually in the ground. But in the end, it's completely worth it to be able to have housing and housing of all kinds, and then that addition to our tax base to help spread the expenses across even more taxable property. We've also had some really good progress last week, but I didn't mention it. We didn't do a roundup last week with a project we've been working on for some time on the northeast side of the city as well. So that land sale has made substantial progress, and so we're hopeful we'll be able to share more information soon. This week, or perhaps it was last week, we saw the final renderings for the fully inclusive park. Again, this is a space that we are working to build with grants and donations only. We received a grant in order to do the renderings. Those renderings will now turn into marketing pieces for our fundraising efforts, but this will be a space at the Riverside Park volleyball courts that is fully inclusive for people of all abilities and all ages. It includes a walking path, a sitting area, a really incredible accessible playground, kind of a hidden enchanted forest in the trees. So we will be sharing those images and that marketing information very soon. I have been getting questions about what's going on at the library. So the library did have a project that needed to get finished in the front, like flower bed, if you will. So it's where the flagpole is. So they're kind of reconstructing that area and putting in a new flagpole, but we will still see some other items, like there's signage that needs to go on the west side of the building. So there's still going to be some work from that original project and fundraising that has to get completed. On the library front, programming-wise, they're doing Dinovember, which if your children, or if you as an adult, I suppose, are really interested in dinosaurs, this is the month for you. They're having donuts with dinos, story times with dinosaurs. So I know my kids would have loved this when they were a little bit younger, and it just seems like a really good opportunity to find those people in the community that are really interested in dinosaurs and stop them by the library for a variety of events. They're also doing Veterans Day thank you cards, so they'll have those available for you to decorate and write. Jewelry making class for beginners, date night at the libraries on Tuesday, and I think that's kind of light refreshments and a movie. So a lot of different activities at the library next week. On the recreation front, we're starting to line up some activities for when school is out for Thanksgiving break. So fall family bingo, the puzzle hustle. We are also doing some lifeguard training courses, so those are up for registration. We have a lot of fitness options, both senior fitness and then just general adult fitness classes. And then I did want to mention we are starting to, and I think we'll be messaging more very soon here about all of the holiday events that are being planned at the square. But one that's out right now is the holiday, our community Christmas tree. We have ornaments that people can decorate and put on the tree. So those are available right now on Rec Desk. Youth wrestling is also still open, and then we're starting to do, I think, a boys and a girls youth basketball skills and drills. So it's something a little bit different and something that we're offering kind of in this interim time while the YMCA has some flooring renovations they need to do. On the job front, we are still posting for the Director of Public Works / City Engineer. I know that we need some assistance with part-time staff in the rec department, things like instructors, I think swim instructors too for swimming lessons. And then we're also still hiring for the water distribution technician. Next week, City Hall is closed on Friday in recognition of Veterans Day, and I know the library does have shorter hours. There's a few different community events both on Friday and on Saturday. I know that on Friday, the Watertown High School is hosting a breakfast at 8:30 for veterans, and I know that St. Luke's typically does something, and then I believe there's some events happening on Saturday at the Moose Lodge as well. So please take the time to find out those events and take the time to attend. I think it's really important that we attend and show our gratitude, and then also demonstrate to the next generation that it's important to set out a period of time to acknowledge and recognize the incredible sacrifice that so many have made. Before next week, though, we have a busy weekend here in Watertown. I think we're basically the craft city this weekend. There are more craft fairs and holiday vendor fairs than I could even count in preparation for this. But if that is not something that catches your fancy, I know there's also murder mystery parties and comedy nights, so plenty of activities to keep you busy. Obviously, as we kind of segue into this holiday shopping season, I will encourage you, as I always do, to shop local. The Amazons and big box stores of the world will do just fine this holiday season, and I want to make sure, as best we all can, to support our local businesses during this incredible time of year. So, have a good weekend. We'll see you back next week.